Sign up for my free daily newsletter, The Current, at getkim.com. I'm going to start things off by talking about one of the most exciting topics ever in the history of the world of consumer technology.
Ooh, hold on. Can I try and guess it?
Yes.
Is it batteries?
Yes. How did you know?
I know Kim Commando.
God, I love batteries. The batteries are something.
No, sure they are. I'm so excited. I'm so intrigued.
Well, in a recent edition of The Current, my ever so popular newsletter, I talked about lithium batteries. That batteries, they can become damaged, overcharged, and then they could pose a fire hazard.
Okay.
Because they have something called thermal runaway.
Wow. You are right. The excitement is just piling up right now.
And in this particular story, I mentioned that I had a staffer who had an e-bike that he would ride to work.
Okay.
And you just walked into our beautiful lobby. Okay. I was coming down the stairs and I saw an e-bike parked in the middle of the lobby being charged in the lobby.
Was this a no-no?
So I said to this gentleman, I don't want you charging your e-bike inside the building because they could explode. And that would be bad for us.
Sure.
And so we have a bike rack out in the back parking lot, and you can run an extension cord and you can charge your bike out there.
Well, at least you were saying run the extension cord. You're not saying you can't charge it at all. Giving options.
But it's outside in the parking lot. And this guy looked at me like, and then he actually said, "You are so drama."
Wow.
And
I need to know who this is now.
And you don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about?
And I said, I just had the fire chief on from New York City on the podcast. Did you not hear him talking about how e-bikes are exploding all over the city? And he's like, that's a bunch of baloney. And then I said, my name's on the building.
Sure. It's always a trump card you can play.
The bike goes outside.
Sure.
Okay. So.
Please tell me that when it rained and we had all those storms, it broke the bike?
No.
Oh, dang. I thought that was going to be the ending.
So I would like to read some notes that I received from people in response to this story.
Okay. So you told this whole story in the newsletter.
Yes. Awfully bossy of you to tell someone they can't charge their e-bike. You act like it's powered by plutonium. Okay, how about this one? You talking about your employee like that is just gossip.
It is.
And it's not.
People love gossip.
And it's not Christian-like. How is that not Christian-like?
I'm sure if Moses had an e-bike, people would be talking about it behind his back about it.
Yeah, and Moses, he had the first tablet.
Yeah, that one locked and loaded.
I like this one. Who are you, Kim Commando, to tell a staffer where and when they can charge their e-bike when they are saving the planet?
Oh, yeah. Didn't you not think of the impact on the polar ice caps? But you're still saving the planet with the bike parked outside. It's just charging outside. I think people would have an argument. But when you said put an extension cord out there, you're saying I'm still meeting your needs.
Yes, of course.
Just do it over there instead over here.
Not in the lobby.
Yeah.
Okay, by the way,
was this a first time thing or it had been charging there for a while?
Apparently this was a routine for this person.
Okay.
And as you know, I don't go out the front door. I go out the back door.
Exactly.
So I don't go through the lobby. I mean, I may be here a month before I even go down in the lobby.
Sure.
Okay. Because I have people that go down and bring people up to me.
Oh God, it's so bossy.
Which is actually the final comment that I'd like to read to you. You're a mean boss.
You're a mean one.
Kim
Mrs.
Commando.
Kim.
I know, it doesn't remind me. You're a mean boss, Kim Commando.
Wow, you're a Grinch heading right into the holiday seasons.
Yes. All right, so what should you do with your e-bike battery? Do you have an e-bike?
No. I mean, we have e-equipment, but I personally don't have one.
And e-bikes, they are so great.
So we parked the e-bike and the e-scooters in the garage.
But you shouldn't charge them.
How? Yeah, they're in the garage charging.
That's not what you're supposed to do.
I understand. But where else do you do? Because if you leave them outside. But it's going to rain. It's going to ruin them.
You put them on a patio or something.
Oh, so just the house isn't going to burn down if fires happen on the patio?
Well, you're not going to have it in the garage, and you definitely don't leave that e-bike just charging 24/7.
Okay.
Because that's bad. Now there is an exception, but I still wouldn't do it. Is that if the battery's rated, I told you this would be really interesting. UL 2271.
And obviously, I know the battery rating of my kids' e-scooters. What?
If it's a UL 2271. And right now, I hear a collective just roar of people who are listening to the podcast right now saying, that Kim Commando is smart.
One person wrote that down. One person.
UL 2271.
And they're alone in an apartment, and they're running downstairs to see if their e-bike has that battery. No one else is going to check.
If the battery smells weird,
Yeah.
it hisses, it bulges.
What would a weird battery smell like?
You smell it. You can smell a battery. It smells weird.
Okay.
I don't know.
That doesn't answer my question.
You know what it smells like? I don't know the name of the flower, but
Okay.
there's this big flower, and it has you can see all the seeds and stuff on the inside, and it smells almost like an electrical fire.
No, I don't know the flower.
Yeah.
But so if it smells flowery?
If it smells electric-y,
Answering the tough questions on the current podcast. What does electricity smell like?
like no, I didn't say electricity. I said electricity.
You didn't say either of them.
Oh, so yes. So just wanted to set it clear now. I'm a mean boss.
Awful person who doesn't care about the environment and isn't Christian. Way to go.
Wait a minute. That I am.
That's what I heard in those reviews.
That's it?
Yeah. And the internet's never wrong.
No. I don't think it's gossip. Why would that be gossip?
No, you were using a social situation to talk about batteries. That's
I'm
really
gossiping?
the only way. Well, I guess you're talking about your employee. You didn't name them, right?
No, I did not.
Do they still work here?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think they still do.
No,
They left.
not because of that.
Oh, okay.
But that was probably one of the things. I'm
For sure.
I would not accommodate my e-bike needs.
You're such a bully.
I am. And on that happy note, welcome. I'm Kim Commando, America's digital goddess, of course, and this is the current podcast. If you're just listening to the podcast, we'd love that for you. And always make sure that you give a nice 5-star review. But just a reminder that you can actually watch us do the podcast. Go to youtube.com/Kim Commando, where you can see that I am in the Halloween festive spirit.
That's a Halloween outfit. Black and red?
Yes.
Okay.
Not red, orange.
That's
Orange.
a red shirt.
This is orange.
That is a red shirt. I need help. Seriously. That is so red.
It's maybe it's under the lights.
That's a red shirt. Where's
It's
my
not-
phone? I'm going to take a picture.
It's orange.
It's not even close to orange.
Okay, it's orange.
I need people in the back to help me out here.
Is it red or orange?
I'm telling you right now.
Just my name's on the building.
Look at that picture. You're telling me that's orange.
Okay, that's red in the picture.
Thank you.
But in my closet, it looked orange.
Well, you probably were half asleep and your eyes were closed. It's not even close to orange.
Oh, now you're making fun of like I only have one eye. Is that what you're doing?
I said eyes. I said both of your eyes. The good one and the bad one were closed.
I always like when Ian was a kid. I'd be like, okay, let's play I Spy. And he'd look at me and go, I spy with my one eye.
Gotcha, Mom.
Exactly. And of course, that's Andrew Babinski, my co-host and my cohort in the battery update, which is just that should be the podcast subject.
Oh, yeah. 100 million subscribers. Just put battery update in the description of this video.
And they'll be like,
oh, line it up.
yes.
I can see we're going to have the Energizer Bunny as a guest next week.
Maybe what we should do is ask people on YouTube, and whoever comes up with the best comment about the battery update, we could send them like a free hat or something.
Sure, or can send them an orange shirt.
I'm going to show you this is orange.
It's not even close to
It's because of all the lights on the set.
I just showed you on the camera.
Because of the lights on the set.
Such a bully. Another example.
Oh my God. Me, a bully?
Oh, yeah.
Demure Kim Commando.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm just getting my voice, learning how to feel myself
Be
and
yourself?
express myself.
Coming out of her shell.
Yes. It reminds me, my mother, after my father died, I was talking to her on the phone and I said, how are you? She said, kind of the same thing. She's like, you know what? I really feel that I'm being myself. I'm being true to myself. And I'm being able to express myself since I went on Prozac. And I'm like, Wait a minute. You're saying you had trouble communicating after
We all heard you expressing yourself.
Exactly. All right. What do you got coming up?
Someone got caught by AI.
Who?
A lawyer.
Oh, a lawyer?
Yeah, no big deal. Just in a courtroom.
That was it?
That was it. Are we doing the full story right now?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay.
I have to give away an iPhone Air.
Do that.
A $999 value. Go to winfromkim.com. Winfromkim.com. Not you.
I know.
You're not eligible.
I know. At least you're not holding up the wrong phone again this entire show. See this phone? You can't win it. It was the worst plug ever.
I like when I said, it's the really thin one that breaks.
selling those giveaways.
But it's an iPhone Air. You'll love it. You'll love it.
All right. So in New York, the state of New York, there was a lawyer fighting a case, submitted his brief, and inside of it, there was a bunch of cases that were cited. And I didn't know the term, but there's like all of these exclamations or something like that, some legal term. But basically, it's just citing past cases.
It's a pedometer.
Just to prove their point. And they obviously had gotten all of these from ChatGPT, slapped them into the brief, and turned them into the judge because the opposing attorney was like, hey, none of these are real.
Right.
All 7 of the cases that you have cited are hallucinations from AI. So the judge called out the lawyer and basically said, you need to explain your actions here. So the lawyer put together a new brief to present to the court. And guess what happened?
What?
Full of AI hallucinations.
He did it again?
Yes. 5.
Oh.
5.
You have to be smart to be a lawyer.
You don't. You just have to pass one test. 5 of them were, again, not correct, not accurate at all. And then 3 of them were not expressions that were connected to the case they were citing. It was to other cases. Again, all AI, all put together by artificial intelligence. And the lawyers had to explain themselves. And guess what they did? They said it was untrained staff below them.
That used AI?
They had the S run downhill, and he threw all his entire staff under the bus. So the plaintiff was actually awarded all the legal fees in the case, and it's going to be sent to the New York auditing system to find out if this lawyer is even going to be able to practice law, because he got caught using AI and then caught again using AI to try
And then
to
threw
explain.
everybody under the bus.
Correct. So I like this story.
Sounds like my kind of lawyer.
It's happened so really.
No,
it's happened so many times that we've seen these stories that come out. Have you ever personally been caught using AI? Called out for it?
Have I?
I did. We play a game on the show. I host a morning show on 99.9 KZ, and we would play a game called The Wheel. And basically, Mondays are kind of slow for radio. People are getting back in their week. So we decided to play a game on Mondays, kind of ease the audience back into the show. We played at the 7 o'clock hour. And the wheel, I'm going to tear down the fourth wall for you right now. It's not a big wheel that we spin.
Oh, no.
Yes, it is just sound effects.
Do you have the sound? What kind of sound does it
It's
make?
like... And then it's like, oh, the wheels landed on this topic. And we read out the topic out loud. And obviously, there's no wheel. We don't spin a wheel. We just have a couple questions ready to go. And so Beth, my co-host, we spin the wheel, and the topic was like, under pressure or something. And she reads the question. And because I was a little behind, I had AI write the questions for the day. Normally, I write them. I find the subject matter. I write the questions. I try to make them fun, interesting. The answer to the question was in the question.
Oh, God. Problem.
Yes. And let me tell you, I've been on the air for 26 years in the Valley. That's the most, and I've said a lot of dumb stuff, and that's the most embarrassed I have ever felt.
What was it? What do you remember?
No, it was something about the definition of a word. Like there's some salivatory gland that does something. Gleeking, I think, was the answer. You know what gleeking is?
No.
You take your tongue and you flick it against your top teeth, and the gland under your tongue will shoot out like
Oh, yeah,
a
yeah,
liquid.
yeah. Yes, yeah.
So basically the question said...
That's a big Friday night over at our house.
The commandos grabbing around the old campfire trying to put it out by gleeking. The question basically said, it's called gleeking. And then the question was, what's it called? And you're sumo wrestling. Gleeking. Or I was so embarrassed. And I had to admit that I used AI on the questions that day. And of course, because I have loving and caring coworkers.
Oh, they took care of you.
Oh, it's trashed for hours. But have you ever been caught?
No, I haven't. But I will tell you that, so we were off for Columbus Day.
Okay.
And I was in my office, and you've been over to the house. So my office is right next door to Barry's office at our house. So I'm sitting there just working away on the newsletters and having a great little time. And I got like my little dog on my feet and just, having a beautiful little afternoon. And the storms were coming in. And then all of a sudden I hear, "Oh, you son of a bitch."
What?
And I'm thinking like the dog took a crap.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, because that's Bella. And I look down, I'm like, oh no, she's there. She didn't go poop in the...
Well, she could have pooped previously and Barry just found it.
Because, he stepped in it once. And ever since then, it's like nasty stuff, right? And, and she's a golden. I don't know to tell you, like, these are like...
Yeah, they're not small.
These are Lincoln Logs.
Not petite.
No, not the little Tootsie Rolls that, some hot dogs have.
Right.
And I'm like, so I go into his office. I said, "Are you okay?" And he's working on, I can't tell you what it is, but he's working on a petition to the FCC.
Okay.
And so it's about 150 pages. So he took his petition that he's been working on and he gave it to DeepSeek.
Okay.
And DeepSeek came back and said about 75% of his citations were wrong for legal cases.
Where did he get the citations from?
ChatGPT.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So then I said... And he goes, "I can't be right. I worked all this."
He didn't work it.
No, he hasn't really been working this.
Okay, but if 75% were wrong, 100% came from ChatGPT. All he did was ask ChatGPT. He did exactly what this lawyer in New York did.
But wait, then I said, "Here, move over." So I went on his DeepSeek and said, just typed in, "Are you sure? Because this doesn't sound right to me, and I think you're making crap up." And DeepSeek came back and said, "Ha ha, I did."
What? It called out ChatGPT's work is fake?
Yes.
Because it's petty?
Yes. I thought that was so funny.
But how can you trust that? How can you trust that which one's the fake? Is the ha I did a fake, or is the ChatGPT citation the fake?
I think the DeepSeek was a ha.
But he's going to have to cross-reference every single one of those.
He does. And he's got all these citations and things. And, But, this is Barry.
Right.
This is what he does.
But that's AI. We can't trust it.
No. Mm-mm. But
it's fun for making fun pictures.
Remember the good old days of the internet? A place where you could truly feel free without snoops or spies watching every move? Unfortunately, now we go online knowing we're being tracked. Our internet service providers can see our entire browsing history. And in the United States, they're legally allowed to sell this information. Who knows what they'll do with it? That's why I use ExpressVPN. It's a virtual private network that reroutes 100% of my online activity through secure encrypted servers, shielding it from the prying eyes of my service provider and other third parties. ExpressVPN hides my internet address, the number identifying me online, so I can't be tracked. My online activity is actually mine again. Imagine that. It's so easy to use that your entire family can figure it out with just one tap. And it works on all your devices: phones, tablets, TVs, desktops, up to 8 devices at once. Let's return to the good old days of online privacy and freedom. Use my special link to get 4 extra months of ExpressVPN for free at expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim. Even with a healthy diet, sometimes we need a little extra support to stay energized, sharp, and ready for the day. That's why I'm excited to tell you about a product I love from my friends at Native Path, Native Hydrate. When it first launched in 2024, it sold out almost immediately, and now it's finally back in stock. Here's what makes Native Hydrate so special. It has smart nutrition that's packed with a clean blend of vitamins and nutrients to support deep hydration and daily wellness. And it's designed to work for everyone, not just athletes. And the flavors, wow, peach, mango, mixed berry, and tangerine. They taste amazing because Native Path perfected natural flavoring. Grab Native Hydrate while you still can. Get this exclusive offer for my listeners. Save up to 44% plus free shipping. Visit getnativepath.com/Kim. Go now while you're thinking about it. Getnativepath.com/Kim.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual results may vary.
But otherwise, I don't know.
Have you seen Sora?
Yeah, of course I've seen
But
Sora.
have you put yourself in it yet?
Sora 2? No, not yet. I don't want. Do I want to? Digital goggles?
Do you need an invite? I have one if you want one.
What I'm saying is, do I want to put myself, and yes, I need the invite, but do I want to? Do I want to give Sora my image?
You know what? Your image is all over.
It is, but right now,
You can say that you want it private. You don't want people to Sora-ize you.
okay.
So
As long as there's that option. I say that.
I mean, Mark Cuban is saying, please do it because he wants the publicity.
Okay.
I mean, and I saw a video of him in jorts. I actually thought it was funny.
Hey, am I wearing shorts? I think I am.
You are wearing jorts. Speaking of trustworthy, make sure that you sign up for the free newsletter.
Okay.
Go to getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. And our open rate is close to 49%, which means everybody loves the newsletter. And you need to get it every single day. You do. And so to go to getkim.com, 100% free, a 5 out of 5 star rating.
Why go to getkim.com? Isn't there somewhere else to go that's better?
Well, if you don't want to win the iPhone.
But who wouldn't want to win an iPhone? Even if you win it and just throw it in your drawer.
Oh, then you could sell it.
How do you win the iPhone?
You go to Win from Kim.
There you go.
There you go. See, boy, look at that professional segue. All right. Here's some things that are on my desk that you might find interesting.
Okay.
Did you ever have years ago in the 1990s a TV in your kitchen? One of those little tiny TVs, little ones?
At first there was the big box that you had to, mount underneath the cabinets.
Oh, yeah. Then you pull down.
And then they got the pull down ones that you could push up and it would disappear and then pull it down and it was there.
Well, for some reason, if you had 90s style kitchen TVs making a comeback in your 2025 bingo card, you would be right. People are buying those old TVs because they say it's nostalgia and they just want to watch the local news and maybe put a DVD in. They don't want to deal with all the streaming crap.
I don't have a DVD. Do you have a DVD? Do you have in your home, do you have a DVD?
DVDs?
DVD, just one. Do you have one?
I'm sure I do.
Do you have a way to play it?
I don't, but I'm sure Barry does.
Okay, because I don't think I can. Even the kids have new Xboxes that don't even have a way to put in a disc. It's all digital. It's all streaming.
I have a box of DVDs.
Okay, you do. Okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Barry and I went to Costco. It was like, he's like, you want to go to Costco? And I'm like, no. And he's like, let's go look at Christmas trees. And so we went to Costco and we looked at the trees and, bought stuff that we didn't need.
Of course, it's Costco.
And then he looked at me and goes, you remember when instead of just books, there'd be all DVDs for sale at Costco? Not one DVD.
No, of course not. Mm-mm. You know, it's funny you bring up Costco. We went to Costco. It was $499.98 when we left. We get home. About 2 hours later, Brielle goes, "What'd you guys get at Costco? I'm hungry." Couldn't even tell her one thing. Couldn't even think of one thing.
Okay, you know what we bought?
What?
I told Barry, I said, this is embarrassing that we came to Costco, and this is what we left with. 12 bottles of Cabernet.
All right. Okay. One for each day of the week.
Okay. A bottle of vodka,
Okay.
a bottle of gin.
Okay.
Those little chocolates that have the liqueurs in them.
Okay.
Okay. And a bag of Reese's peanut butter cups.
That's all you bought?
That's all we bought.
Booze and peanut butter
Yes.
cups?
I said, this is so embarrassing.
No frozen foods?
No, because we were actually walking around. I said, I'm not buying that. That's all processed foods. I'm not going to eat that.
What did you buy? Oh, yeah, but let's get up as much booze as possible.
Yes.
Did you buy the Kirkland brand vodka?
No.
Oh, top shelf.
No. If you're looking for a job, Amazon's hiring 250,000 people.
A company actually hiring people?
Yes, 200. Think about that. That's nearly half of the nation's holiday hiring. 250,000 people.
I'm going to say that's got to be close to the population of Wyoming.
Probably.
I mean, I'm not joking.
You should look it up.
All right.
And they're going to pay $23 an hour.
Okay. To do what?
To work in the warehouse and stuff. We have the link over at commando.com if you are interested in applying. Target and Kohl's, they're quiet.
500,000 people in Wyoming. So half the population
Half Wyoming.
of a full state.
Yes. Speaking of shopping, I told you this was going to happen. I told you so.
Okay.
Okay. That in just a few weeks, you're going to be in ChatGPT. And if you want to buy a TV or something, ChatGPT will say, hey, are you a Sam's Club or a Walmart member.
Okay.
Because if you click here, we can have the TV shipped to you.
Now, how are they going to make money on that? Is it like an affiliate deal?
Yes.
They'll make a percentage of the transaction.
You know how much money they're going to make? 800 million people are using ChatGPT right now.
What did I see? I didn't read the whole story, but I saw a headline that was like, OpenAI says it's going to be okay. They'll be able to afford the $60 billion that they're going to need for cloud space. $60 billion. And they're like, yeah, that's just a bill.
Don't worry about it.
We'll pay the power bill. We'll pay the $60 billion cloud space bill.
We're all good.
Yeah, we're fine.
We're all good. But let's see. Oh, you can't order any fresh food.
Okay.
Just everything else is fair game. Could you imagine like Black Friday brawls inside the app?
With ChatGPT? Yes. So basically, if it's like, hey, I want to compare these two TVs, ChatGPT is going to say, here's your comparison.
Correct.
Oh, and that second one that I recommended.
You can click here to buy it now.
On sale. Okay.
And it'll be right there.
And people will do it.
Hackers hit one of the largest U.S. radiology chains, Simon Med Imaging. 1.2 million patients.
Good thing there's no personal information there.
No. Simon Med says there's no fraud yet. Which is kind of like feeling like when you get an x-ray at Simon Med and it says, it's just a sprain. You're like, wow, that really hurts.
Are you serious? Because my hand is on the other side of the room.
Yes. I thought this was interesting. A couple in Chappaqua. You know where that is?
No. New Hampshire?
Chappaqua.
First of all, slow your roll. I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't. Where is it?
Guess.
I just did. I said New Hampshire, and I got all attitude.
Okay, because you're wrong.
Okay, New Jersey, Vermont, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C.
You're going everywhere on the East Coast except for New York.
Ah, man.
Okay. Let's see. It's about $1.2 million. And Zillow said that it was a 9 out of 10 extreme flood risk.
Okay.
Which they say our house is not a flood risk.
Right.
Okay. But Zillow said it was a flood risk. And so everybody that looked at the house said, is this an extreme flood risk? Because we're not interested in the house if it's a flood risk. Okay.
I tried to refinance my house, and it was during the days where it's like, everybody was getting refinancing. All you had to do was just say, I own a home, and they threw money at you. And they're like, well, we're going to have to get an inspection. I'm like, an inspection of my house? What are you talking about? I bought it for $400,000. It's worth like $950. What do you need? This is easy money for you guys. Because it was in a fly zone. Because I was within this perimeter of an airport that they had to make sure couple of planes hadn't crashed into my backyard from the last time they inspected it. So I get what they're saying.
Well, they sold their house.
Okay.
For $999,000.
Okay.
The house was worth $1.1 million.
So they lost a big chunk of money.
They lost $100,000.
Yeah.
So guess what they're doing?
Suing Zillow.
Exactly. For $500,000.
I don't know if that math checks out.
I know.
I lost $100,000, which really means emotionally I lost $500,000.
And then I was going to talk about the book, but I think the book you have on your list.
There's an author, and she's a very popular author, and she found out that Claude.
Yes, by Anthropic.
Correct. The AI chatbot had scraped the internet using her books to help it learn about not only writing, but about the genre that she writes in. So that if someone puts in there, I want a thriller, write me a short story that's a thriller, they have something to base it off of, which would be her books.
Yes.
And she was really mad about it. She doesn't want AI using all of her...
I can't blame her.
Oh, no, neither can I. So she went to the courts, and the courts were like, listen, it's fair use. If they go on the internet and they find your books on the internet, it is 100% fair use to learn from it. You can go to the library and learn from her books how to write. It's the same thing. But there's a caveat. Claude didn't go on the internet, purchase the book, didn't go on. It used pirated copies of her and many other authors' books.
Yeah, it was like what was it, a $3 billion settlement or something?
$1.5
$1.5
billion.
Yes.
And Claude has to unlearn what it learned.
Sure.
What do you mean?
How could they even say that with a straight face? Claude, we want you to forget everything that you stole, okay? And just forget that you ever knew anything about that. And Claude's going to come and go, memories erased.
Well, they said that, first First of all, why does Claude sound so stupid? Memories erased. Poor Claude.
Poor Claude is right.
That's why he'll never win the AI chat wars. None of it sounds like that. Come use me, I'll help you.
Oh God, that's awful.
But they did say that they were going to unlearn the app from all the books that it covered. And it's not just her. It's a lot of other authors that were suing them. And they won $1.5 billion, but only because Claude used it from pirated sites. If it wasn't from pirated sites, it can take their information, do whatever
So
it wants with it.
Claude's buying everything on Amazon right now.
I love to read.
So did you see how much they're going to get?
Each individual author?
Yeah.
What's the breakdown?
They're going to get $3,000.
$3,000 a piece.
Yeah.
After 1.5 billion.
Yeah, because I read that story and I put my name in because I was thinking like, oh, maybe I'm gonna get some money, right?
Of course you did.
$3,000.
That's it.
Yeah,
Were
that
you on
was
the
it.
list?
No, I wasn't. Thank God.
Thank God. 3,000 is 3,000.
Yeah, but then Claude,
And you'd be forced to apologize. I'm sorry, Cam.
you know what? We should do that. What do the various AIs sound?
Poor Claude. And it's going to be like, I'm ChatGPT. I'm Claude.
Oh my gosh,
Oh, that's hilarious.
that's awful. What is about Microsoft Copilot?
I think it'd be like an army general.
Okay.
Co-pilot would be like a drill sergeant. Like, Claude, you need to get in line. Give me 20 push-ups. Yes, sir. Why did you make it sound so dumb?
Oh my gosh, my eyes are watering. I'm sorry for everybody who's listening and watching. We're laughing at ourselves, and I hope you find it that funny too.
Me too.
All right, one more.
One more, Claude?
No, Gemini.
Oh, Gemini. Oh, Gemini would be like maybe like a genie.
Oh,
or
yes,
like
yes.
an Arabian princess or
Yeah.
something like that.
Like, hi.
Yeah, no, it would be like, yeah, a little more like mystic, a little more mysterious.
Yeah.
But then Claude comes.
Stop.
Can you tell my future?
Oh my gosh. All right. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh, my side hurts.
Let's see. AI, they have an experiment that researchers trained an AI model to predict how long someone would live
Okay.
based on their health data, but not really on their health data. I'll explain this. There was no crystal ball, no palm reading, just machine learning. So I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
How accurate was the AI at predicting a person's risk of death within 1 year? Was it 52%,
Okay.
which is kind of like a coin toss, 68%, which is as good as like most doctors, they say, 76%, and they didn't use any medical records, or 91%, almost perfect.
But these people already had to have passed, right? So it was like, here's all the descriptions about this person. And then they go, oh, okay.
Yes.
They're going to die at 50.
Yes.
And they died at 50.
Yes.
Well, obviously, since you're leading with this story, I'm going to say 91%.
No.
I hate that buzzer.
76%. AI was trained on over 500,000 patient records, and it predicted death with a 76% accuracy without using any imaging, without using any detailed notes. What it did is it looked at patterns in age, their habits, and medical history that they say most doctors miss. I don't know what that means. So AI doesn't know where you're going in the afterlife, but it might know when you're getting there.
Sure. But now imagine how better it would be if it factored in your environment, your income, your diet,
Yes,
all
true.
that thing. That percentage would go from 76 probably to 91%.
Probably. You know, and we were talking about books.
Yes.
And I'm reading a book about anti-gravity.
Are you?
It's so
You just
hard
can't
to
put
put
it
down.
down?
Oh.
There you go again.
Oh, there's Claude again. Claude. Oh, Well, you know what? We should do that bit on the show.
We should try it.
Yeah, but but I'm laughing too hard when we do it.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know.
I forgot him. Gotta perfect it. I'm all over the place. I'm like 7 different voices. Gotta perfect it to just one. Oh, that's good.
Oh my gosh. Memories erased.
Right to bark.
Stop it. All right. So here's the deal, folks.
Yeah.
We have an interview coming up with one of our radio sponsors, Home Title Lock. And you definitely don't want to miss that. But just a quick reminder, make sure that you enter to win that iPhone at winfromkim.com. And leave us some great comments on our YouTube channel. And I'm firing up our TikTok.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so at Kim Commando, if you're on TikTok, make sure that you follow.
This is an ad.
I hate it!
An ad for crisp, refreshing Angry Orchard hard cider.
That is refreshing.
An ad that interrupted your podcast.
I hate being interrupted!
To remind you to stop being angry at me and crack open an Angry Orchard.
That's a good idea.
Don't get angry. Get Orchard. Angry Orchard Cider Company, LLC. AngryOrchard.com. Please drink responsibly. Angry Orchard is a hard cider with other natural flavors.
That. Okay, here's the deal. You keep an eye on your car, you keep an eye on your wallet, and boy, you're never without your phone. But there's one big target that you probably have never thought about. I'm talking about your house. It's called home title theft, and it's real. Here's how it works. Criminals grab your personal information from, say, maybe a data breach or public records. They forge a new deed, they file it with the county, and then just like that, they own your home on paper. You're still living there, clueless that anything like this ever happened. Meanwhile, they're taking out loans or maybe even selling it to someone else. That's why I want you to know about Home Title Lock. They keep a close watch on your home's title. And if anyone tries to mess with it, they change ownership, they file anything shady, you will get an alert right away. Now, joining me is someone who knows this inside and out, Art Fitzmyer. He's a former FBI agent and senior advisor at Home Title Lock. Now, he's going to break down how this scam works and how to protect yourself. So, Art, thanks so much for being here. Now, my question here at the top is, isn't there something like that the county recorder's office should be doing to protect us?
Well, first of all, Kim, thanks for having me. It's really a pleasure to be here. And, you know, one of the things I like to do to start out these conversations where we really have people that don't really comprehend what the issue is, I call it Agent Art's Pop Quiz. 4 questions. Just one, and most people are going to fail, quite frankly. First of all, do you know what your title looks like? And number 2, when was the last time you saw your title? Number 3, do you know where your title is right now? And number 4, do you know what your house is worth? Now, a lot of people are going to draw blanks there. I'm going to say most people are going to fail this miserably, probably over the event. And the sad part about this is the bad guys know the answers to all those questions, and especially question 3, do you know where your title is? And question 4, do you know what your house is worth? Because that's what the bad guys are looking for. Look, we live in the digital age. The numbers are all out there if you know where to look and how to look. And that's what the bad guys do. What you need to worry about is them selecting your house, and it can be very random. And it doesn't matter what you think the value is, it's what they think they can get for it. And it's very easy in this day and age for somebody to get a copy of your title. And your title is and it's the record of who the owner is. And at that point, when they get your title with, photoshopping and AI, they can change the title and make it look like your house has been sold to them, and they'll forge your signature on the title, and then get a notary stamp. You can get them. I have 4 on my desk right now. You can get a fake notary stamp and stamp it, and then you present it to the county recorder. Now, here's the really scary part. the county recorder is required by law, and almost all the states, I believe all of them at this point, required to take that document and file it. So once it's filed, the new owner of record is the bad guy. It's
Okay.
not you anymore.
But doesn't the county recorder, like my first question, don't they have a verification, or they're just stamping it and they're getting their job done?
They're getting their $30 and filing it in the file. Now, there are some county recorders that may have a separate step. You may have to show some identification to file or something like that. But most of them, there are some where you can even mail it in, quite frankly. So you don't need to be, personally involved. You don't need to see the house or go near the house or do much with the document. You just need to get it filed for whatever the fee is in the various jurisdictions. And look, there are 3,400 or so different county recorders in the United States. So you're going to run into little widgets here and there and filing these things. But overall, once you fill it out completely and notarize it, which can be done for $25 on the internet, you can get a notary stamp it, take it in, pay the fee, and that document now shows, I call him Three Finger Louie, as the owner of your property. And it shows that you've signed the document called a quit claim deed, changing the ownership of your property from you to the bad guy. Now, it's probably a false identity. And then the bad guy, yeah.
But you see, Art, I have to tell you, all of this sounds really frightening, but has it actually happened to a real person? Like, I heard a story about a couple here in Phoenix, that they had a house in Phoenix and there were some squatters in the house, and the squatters did exactly what you're talking about. And they took over the house. I mean, the ownership of the house. But when this happens, wouldn't like the original owner of the house get a notification, or that just isn't possible?
Well, first of all, if it's a quit claim deed that the squatters use, and it may not be, it may be a separate issue. But if it's a quit claim deed, when you file it, in the upper left-hand corner of almost each quit claim deed is a box that you have to fill out, and it says, where do you want any documents related to this mailed to? Believe me, they aren't going to mail it to you.
No.
It's going to be in some mail drop where it's going to be, thrown away for failure to pay. And 90 days, even those records are gone. But what happens is people don't understand. And believe me, Kim, I see this happening all the time. And I've talked to people all the time. When I first started, and I've been with the company for 9 years, so I have seen it all and I've been part of it all. Not to mention in my previous life as an FBI agent, we saw similar schemes. But back then, it was a long time ago, back then it was even easier because the record keeping was archaic, hammer and chisel, quite frankly, when they're putting
Art,
these
you're
together.
not that old. I mean, I think you saw color TV first, right?
No, when I go back to when there was no TV.
Oh gosh.
So, World War II. So I've been around for a little while, and I have to say I've seen it all. I mean, when I first started with this company, and they approached me and wanted to know if I would, do an endorsement because they were looking for somebody from law enforcement. And when I talked to them just for a few minutes, the first thing I realized was, and I live in California, that I had a huge amount of exposure for the equity I had in my house. And I had no way of knowing if somebody was going to attack it or not. Now, with my background in law enforcement, I have some people in my background that probably don't love me and would love a chance to make my life miserable. And I took one look at that and I said, I have to take a hard look at this company and think about endorsing them because, first of all, the company's a great company. The owner's a fabulous guy and has built companies, and he knows what he's doing, and he hires the very best, maybe except for me. And then we started talking, and I said, I don't want to just, do an endorsement. I want to get involved, and I want people to understand their vulnerability and how easy it is for people to, defraud them of everything they've worked so hard for. And one of the things that I really like about Home Title Lock, if you subscribe to Home Title Lock, first of all, you're going to get a copy of that title, so you'll know what it looks like, and you'll have some idea where it is, and that's the first step, quite frankly. Now, I've had people, that have no idea that their home has any value beyond what they paid for it 15 years ago.
Really?
So it's really eye-opening for them, as well as a real, signal to them that they are in trouble. And these guys that steal this, they don't get down to the bank and get a check. All this is done in this day and age electronically. They'll get a loan, and to say, I would guess the average equity of most homes in the United States now is probably well into six figures, 300, 400,000 or more. And if you live in California,
It's a
those
lot.
are almost rounding. It's almost rounding errors out here, quite frankly.
I
So
know.
you need to know what kind of money's on the table, and these guys know it.
Yeah.
They can figure it out in a heartbeat. And why wouldn't they go for that? It's
Art,
simple.
So, Art, if this happens to you, do you have any shot of getting your house back? I mean, I would imagine that they would want to flip it fairly quickly. And then the new people would buy it. They would have no idea that any of this was going on. I mean, talk about a nightmare.
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's exactly right. You don't know if you don't have Home Title Lock. You need to know immediately that somebody is going to change the name on your title, your deed, and then you use it as the equity, the collateral for a loan. The equity in your house will be the collateral for their loans. If you don't stop that immediately, that loan's going to essentially be executed. And before the ink is dry on any check, that money is someplace in the world with wide sandy beaches and drinks with the little umbrellas in them. And you're going to be looking at a sheriff's deputy knocking on your door telling you, you haven't paid on your mortgage, so we're going to evict you. I mean, it can really get that serious. When I first started with the company back when, I had a fellow call me. He said, I don't know if you can help me or not, but somebody has stolen the deed to my house. They've taken out loans. They aren't mine, and I don't know how I'm going to pay them back. And can you help me? And I said, well, once the cow was out of the barn, you've got a real problem. I said, what you really need to do, unfortunately, is to get an attorney.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go to court and prove that those loans are not yours, and that it's going to be the mortgage holder that's going to have the problem, not you.
See, I remember also reading about, this was fascinating to me. And I believe it was either in North Carolina or South Carolina. You may be familiar with this, where there was a lot that a couple owned. Nothing on it, just a lot. Somebody forged the husband's driver's license. And they changed the address of the driver's license, came to the scammer's house. Scammer put the property for sale by owner on the internet. A builder bought the property from the scammer, started building a $1.5 million house on this lot.
Yeah.
And the people who are buying the house now, they bought the house because the builder sold them the house. And then all of a sudden this guy comes around going like, wait a minute, that was my lot. Okay, so now you've got the guy who owns the lot, you got the builder involved, you got the homeowner who took a mortgage out on this. I mean, I remember reading this story thinking like, talk about having a nightmare situation. Oh my gosh.
Exactly right. Yeah. And in a situation like that, Kim, as the original owner of the property, you have probably the least exposure, quite frankly. But you're the only way you're going to get that back is to have the court sort it out, because the transaction has taken place, money has changed hands, and then the only way the mortgage holder is going to get made whole again, and the new owner per se of the property made whole again, is to have a court decide where the proper ownership is. And that's how it gets settled out in court. And once you get there, it's just a nightmare. And like this man I was telling you about that contacted me years ago, he called me back finally about 2 years later, and that was nice of him to think of me, quite frankly. And he told me, he says, "I have some good news for you. The court gave us our house back, put it back in our name." He said, "But I also wanted you to know it cost me so much in legal fees. I had to sell my house to pay the
Oh,
legal fees."
jeez.
So even though he won, he lost.
Yeah. Went
And
through all
that's
that.
and yeah, and when it gets complicated with multiple layers, that just makes it almost impossible to resolve easily and in a timely fashion and for a reasonable amount of money. And those people, you know, are going to end up having to have some court making, a decision about who's going to get what and when and how they're going to resolve it. If they'd had home title lock, it would have stopped right at the point that somebody
Yeah, I
changed.
was going to ask you that. When does that alert go out that somebody's trying to
Okay,
mess with your title?
home title lock, we have our own software. We built it. We only do one thing. And our software monitors property titles in a national database. We don't have to go around to the 4,300 or 3,400 county recorders' offices. It's in a national database. And our software notices immediately if any transaction has taken place on the title of our subscribers. And it issues them a copy of the offending document immediately, sends them an email and says, if you don't recognize this transaction, you should call Home Title Lock the following number immediately. And then as soon as we see that, our restoration division people will go to work to make sure that there are no transactions on that piece of property. And it does take some time later on to get it back into the
Hmm.
correct owner's name, but and we spend up $1 million of our money to make sure that this transaction is canceled and it gets back in your name. But if you don't stop it before that check issues, it gets to be a terrible nightmare. We
I can
stop it
imagine.
before that check issues. And that's the key to it, quite frankly, knowledge and the ability to act. And we've got these people in our restoration division are the very best. I mean, these are all top-notch people. They've done it all. They've seen it all. And I've done it all and seen it all. But I know they're good, quite frankly, Kim, because I do all the backgrounds for this company.
Oh, do
And
you?
I know we've got some really great people here, the very best. Yes.
So
So
can you tell me about something that Home Title Lock saved that when with all your experience and all your career, and I can only imagine the characters that you've dealt with, where you sat back and went like, wow, that was something.
this ended up on our website at one point. We had this family where the mother on the West Coast, elderly mother, the husband had died and she was living alone. And the daughter, who lived in another part of the country, got a call from a neighbor, the longtime neighbor, and said, your mother's got some really different people coming and going from her house. And, you probably should check out and see what's going on. This lady immediately signed up for Home Title Lock. Quite frankly, she said, I want to be able to, monitor what anything's going on with my mother's home. And sure enough, she said she was driving along the highway and Home Title Lock sent her an email, said, something's going on here. You better get on top of it right away. She said she was so upset she had to pull over because she was going to throw up. It
Oh,
was such a disaster. So someone's going to try and, change the name of that house and sell it away from and steal it from the estate of the woman. And that's the best of all worlds because this elderly woman wouldn't have noticed
yeah.
uh, anything going on with their house, much less a false transaction. And so they actually had a lawyer because it was in probate. The lawyer stopped the transaction right away as well. And elderly people are really vulnerable for
Hmm.
this kind of fraud. They miss, as I say, some of the stop signs. They don't realize that they maybe didn't get a tax bill, they didn't get a water bill, things like that, and they just go merrily on their way. And if they don't have somebody telling them that something's wrong, then when they think that they're going to have a house to leave to their children or to fund their
Assisted
care,
living or yeah,
long
long
term,
term care. Yeah.
yeah, all of those, it may not be there. And that's the very frightening thing. And when it happens, like in your 60s and 70s, there's no time to recover for you personally. If you thought you had happy thoughts of a retirement community or something like that, uh, you're going to have to make it do with a Social Security check, and you're going to be living on a tent in the park and that kind of money. So to protect that one asset that almost everybody has who's a homeowner, you need to make sure somebody's watching it for you because you don't. People just lose track. How many people would take the time to either go to the county recorder's office every week, maybe, or at least find some way to go online and check? Because in this day and age, you can't do that. And then you go on vacation for a couple of weeks, you forget about it, and you're in the soup before you even know it. So
Yeah.
you can't just sit around and hope it won't happen to you. The big thing with home title lock is we will notify you before you have a problem. I sometimes use an analogy of a fire. If you have fire coverage on your house, and if your coverage sent you an email on Tuesday night and said, look, that towel on the counter next to your stove is going to catch on fire in the morning, start a grease fire, and burn your house down. That would be a real nice email to get. Well, you're not going to get it. But
No.
if you have home title lock, we're going to call you and say, that document that's being filed right now that's just been sent to you by our software, if you don't recognize it, you better call us so we're going to take care of it for you. And there's a nice difference there. Of course, the fire departments can't possibly, project, when a fire is going to take place. But that's the kind of thing that differs. So, us from the other
Well, it is
protections
like
that you may think you
insurance.
have.
I mean, it is like insurance. You may not think that you need it, but when you need it, you're sure glad that you have it. Type of thing.
Yeah, it's
Only this is worse
the
because this is your home and this is everything that you've saved for and you've worked hard for. And now, with this, if you go to hometitlelock.com/Kim, you get a free 14-day trial. Tell us about the report that comes with that, because you get a free report too.
You get two things, and they're invaluable as far as I'm concerned. You get a copy. Question number one, you get a copy of your title so you'll know what it looks like. And question number two, you'll get a history of your title. So it'll tell you the list of all the owners that have owned the house in the past. And those are really valuable documents to have around in your personal papers. It establishes that in the county records, the history of the ownership of that title and that property is clear, and it goes right up to the piece of paper that you get showing it that it's your paper, your title, and it belongs to you. So at that point, you are assured that you own your own property, and the value in that property is yours, which is question number 4. And you will know instantly, because you have home title lock, that nobody's going to be able to fool with that without you knowing about it instantly. I mean, our software, we built it. It's the best. It does only one thing. It watches your property for you and notifies you and us if there's any kind of a problem.
Yeah.
And then that's what, it's called the $1 million triple lock protection. And we protect your property. We notify you. And if something happens, we make it yours again. We'll spend up to $1 million. So we have the 3 steps that can affect you, and the overall $1 million umbrella protects you from having to worry about getting this back in your own name.
Yeah.
So these are all things that every homeowner should think about.
And it's all peace of mind. It's
very much so.
Protecting your most valuable asset. And it is. It's great protection.
I mean, I have to say, and I'll let you in a little secret here. As an octogenarian, I understand.
You are not. Well, I know you told me about World War II and no TV.
I wasn't in it, but I was alive. Yes, I wasn't in it, please. But yeah, I am of that group that people forget the little things that can get by them, and they are such vulnerable targets for these bad guys. And they know that these people can be misled and defrauded.
Yeah.
And if out of their most important asset. I mean, in the United States, I would say 85% of the net worth of people is tied up in their home. 85%.
That's
The rest
fair.
is the stuff they may have in their retirement
For
or
sure.
some other IRA accounts or something. But the bulk of their personal wealth is their house. And if they don't pay attention to that, shame on them. And if they don't want to pay attention, then call us because we'll make sure that you're aware of what's going on with your most important asset. Just
Well, I'll tell you,
HomeTitleLock.com.
when I'm in my 80s, Art, I want to be doing just what you're doing. You're doing great. Okay, I need to know, what's the secret? I mean, are you drinking coffee every day? You're working out? What's
I do drink coffee. I
Okay.
have coffee in the morning. But for 25, 26 years as an FBI agent, you were required to maintain a certain level of fitness.
That's true, right?
So
Yes.
that was a good basis to build on. But I have a wife who's a marvelous cook, and we have healthy menu almost all the time. And we have in our entire life, both of us have worked out, running or lifting weights or going to the gym. The gym part is kind of behind me now, but I like to work out, and we eat healthy, and that's what makes it all go
Well, I'll
round.
tell you, I read a story today about this morning when I was laying in bed, just going through the news as I woke up at 5 a.m. And it was about a guy who's 100 years old. And when he was 57, he won like Mr. Universe or something like that. Anyway, he's 100. He still bench presses. He goes to the gym 6 times a week and for a couple hours a day. And I'm like going, dang, that's awesome. All right. Well,
You know
back
what,
to,
Kim?
yes.
You got to have a life. So
Yeah, that's
my
true.
life is outside the gym. Believe me, I have two adult children and one grandchild, and life is good.
That's awesome. Well, Art, thank you so much for being here and for explaining, home title lock, how it works. Because, I get these emails from folks in these notes on social and DMs where people are like, Kim Comando, that's a scam. And it's like, it's not a scam. This is not a scam. This is stuff that really happens. So if you go to HomeTitleLock.com/Kim, you get that free 14-day trial, and then you'll be able to answer all of Art's 4 questions that when we started this interview, nobody knew the answer to, but now you'll know every
would be
single
great.
answer.
Yep.
Art, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
You betcha. All right, folks. So
time.
in case you missed it, it's HomeTitleLock.com/Kim. That's, again, where you get that free 14-day trial. And if you have any questions about Home Title Lock, you can go ahead and just drop me a note through the website, and then I'll forward them off to the good folks there. Again, that's HomeTitleLock.com/Kim. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And thanks for being here.